For the longest time, ChatGPT's been the de facto AI tool of choice. Everyone's been using it. It's been the king. Sure, somebody might come and dethrone a little part of it for a couple months or so, but ChatGPT's been winning across the board. Until this summer, Google has really been rising through the ranks across multiple categories. And it's time to question it. It's time to throw them in a battle of ChatGPT versus Google Gemini and see which one's the right tool for marketers these days. So welcome back to Bot Bros, a segment of the AI-driven marketer where I, Dan Sanchez, my brother Travis Sanchez,
Bot Bros for life,
break down the help from the hype of all the different AI news going on out there for marketers like you so that you can use AI to not only go faster, but build better and think smarter too. So this week's episode, we're diving into this Gemini versus ChatGPT debate, starting with Google's new image tool. Now, this was a fun one because, of course, it's how much hype can you build up for a tool before it's released? And, there's a number of different things they've done in order to build up the hype. Google took a tried and true tactic of releasing a model out there, and they didn't say it was theirs. They just put it into the LMArena where people can test new things, and people were like, oh my gosh, there's this new thing here called Nano Banana. Huh, it's really good. And for about a week and a half, everybody's like, hey, have you seen the Nano Banana? Yeah, I've tried Nano Banana. Nano Banana is the new Photoshop killer. Where did this LLM come from? It's this really powerful little image model that everybody was raving about. And of course, that was Google's tactic. And now that they've announced it and they've released it, they're like, yes, we are the owners of Nano Banana. And that was kind of the story behind it. They only hyped it for about 2 weeks or so. They let it in there and then they finally let the cat out of the bag. And I think some of the AI influencers knew it. They're like, hey, I wasn't allowed to say anything. Google gave me a blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, smooth Google, because the whole AI world caught note. If they had just quietly released it or even put out a blog post and tried to make it hype, they probably wouldn't have got as much hype unless they leaked it. You know what I'm saying? ChatGPT's done it. It's not a normal tactic to build up the hype, but we fell for it. We took the bait. I was on it trying to figure it out, and here we are. But it is live now in Google Gemini, and you don't need a Ultra account. You don't need a Pro account. You don't need even a Plus account with Google Workspaces. It's just available for free, and it is really good. Travis, I sent you an example, a side-by-side example of the last show I did. I had a thumbnail where I was like, same prompt. ChatGPT made one. Google made one. What was your take on it?
And for those that know, I never liked my brother's thumbnails that ChatGPT created because they just didn't look like him. And I just thought, this isn't cool. Now, when I use ChatGPT to try to recreate my image or add a tattoo across my head just for kicks and giggles, it also didn't really look like me. But I have to say the difference between Gemini's output image creation versus ChatGPT is like 95% versus like 80 to 85%, maybe even less than that. Oh,
yeah.
I was impressed.
It's really good. There are examples floating around Twitter of even just starting with an image of a couple people sitting around like a billiards table, like a pool table. And then it's like, okay, take this from a different angle. And then it's almost like you were able to spin the camera around of the same scene. All the balls are in the right place. Everything in the background still in the right place. Cause you've taken a picture. I've taken pictures of my living room and said, hey, redesign this. And like windows are in different, it still looks like the same room, but let's be honest, like it's kind of recreating the room. Right. Windows are in different positions. The counters flipped differently. You could say like, hey, redesign my whole living room and with Art Nouveau as the inspiration, and it'll do it. And it's really cool as a way to see it. But now Google's is like way better, way closer. It's way more accurate. It looks like a photo rather than, I don't know. It makes ChatGPT's look more cartoonish in a way, even though it was photorealistic, and it was. But compared to what Gemini's doing, you're like, oh, that wasn't photorealistic at all.
Right. And I'll just say the examples that you showed me from the prompt that you said you sent to both of these LLMs, man, what Google gave you was exactly, I want myself at a desk with the text here, with my screen showing this, and then it did it. But then ChatGPT, it had the computer in the wrong place. It didn't fill in the background appropriately. Weird. Optics were weird. Distances were weird. It was like, it just didn't it wasn't even that it didn't look like you, it wasn't accurate to the prompt. So
Yeah.
not only is Gemini hitting, not exactly, but it's hitting so much closer to what you wanted. And then I feel like with ChatGPT, it's more of like it's just a gamble. You're like, hopefully this one comes out
Yeah,
right.
I know. You
It's
got
like
to take
1 out of 10.
multiple tries. That's what I've been doing for the thumbnails for this channel.
How
And
many
if you're on
tries?
your player, just look at the podcast episodes and you'll see the examples. Those are sometimes I get it on first try. Sometimes it takes 2, 3,
3,
4.
10.
Sometimes I have to bring it into Photoshop and fix it a little bit.
Wow. Yeah.
But like it was way faster than me building it in Photoshop myself. So
Sure.
I was still doing it because it was just click prompt and then do something while it loaded because it was so slow. Google's much faster, way more reliable,
Yeah. Accurate.
is much better on first try than ChatGPT's was.
And then specifically, we're talking about creating an image from scratch or taking an image of your likeness and making a background that you wanted to have text over the image, or all of
Both.
the above. Yeah.
Both. Either whether it's text based or it's from a photo or it's text and photo, which is generally what I'm doing for my thumbnails. I'm feeding it source files for me so it knows what I look like.
Do you tell it which font that you want it to use, or
No, not anymore because I found that it wasn't good. So I gave it more broad terms. I'm like, use a
okay,
bold sans
bold? Yeah.
serif,
Okay.
like Helvetica-ish, because it can't, if you know you want a very specific font like Optima,
Or
very
Gotham.
particular font, it's not going to get it.
Okay.
So I could even try to be like, hey, give it a sans serif and give the corners round, make them more rounded like quicksand.
Uh-huh.
And it can kind of hit in the range if
Okay.
you're descriptive of it, but don't give it a specific font. That's kind of what you had to
Right.
do with ChatGPT. Never
Right.
give it a specific font. Just give it general characteristics of the font and it'd do much better. I haven't really tested that in Google, but I have, and it's not. Because I just did it and it wasn't good. Actually, the one thing ChatGPT holds above Google is that it's a much better design tool. Google is way better at photos and photo manipulation. You could literally give it a picture of a group photo and be like, hey, make the guy on the far left Trump. And it will look like Trump was in the photo, like
Wow.
no flaws. But it is horrible with text layout. It can lay
Really?
out text. It can do text, but ChatGPT was much better and understanding how to utilize white space around the text as a full design composition,
Yes.
where
Right.
Google's just going to slap it on there. And like I'm often just photoshopping the text out and then putting my
Yeah.
text on top of it.
Wow.
So I'm like, no, that wasn't going to work for a YouTube thumbnail.
Does
You could even see
ChatGPT?
it if you go to the last episode before this one. Look at the text placement I just did on my phone through like Adobe Express on the fly because I didn't have time to do it in Photoshop. So it doesn't look that good. It's too small, but ChatGPT was really crushing where the text goes if it
Does it
spelled
do?
it all correctly. Sometimes
Does
it
it
didn't.
do well with like design hierarchy in ChatGPT?
ChatGPT did a lot better with that than Google. Google's much better at just the photo and the image.
Interesting.
You're
So,
still going to have to bring that sucker into Photoshop in order to.
so if it's more text based, go with ChatGPT. If it's more image based, with a
Yeah,
little bit of
like I don't think
text,
you can. I haven't
Gemini.
tested this, but I assume ChatGPT is still going to be better at things like comic strips or infographics, even. Like it's going to be better at things where it's like you need real design thinking involved in the thing versus Photoshop or not Photoshop. Google's new image generator, the Nano Banana, is more better at photo manipulation and photorealistic stuff.
Is Nano Banana built into the Gemini LLM, or is it a
Nano
separate?
Banana was the code name for their new image generator. So
Okay,
now they've kind of let that
they've
name go.
integrated.
That was like Code Strawberry for ChatGPT
Right.
4.5
But if
was Strawberry.
I'm using Gemini and I use their image generator, it's using the basically Nano Banana.
Yeah.
Before they released that it was them, was it a separate platform? Was it just like a
They released it
web
in
portal?
this website called LMArena. I think
Okay.
that's what it's. I hardly go there because while I'm big into AI, I'm not like on the cutting edge usually. I'm usually following the people that are on the cutting edge, kind of take their first pass on whatever they're saying and then figure out how to actually put it to practical use because the first pass people in AI, they barely have enough time to kind of give you the general overview, like the
Right.
30-second insight that they have, and then
Right.
move on to the next thing. Versus I will kind of sift through all their stuff, find the most helpful thing, the 1 in
Yep.
10 thing they did,
Yep.
and then expand on it. That's what we do with this show. But LLMArena, yeah, there it is. It's LMArena.ai is where a lot of the models are tested. And what they do is you put in your prompt, it gives you a side-by-side comparison. So you can test it with video, you can test it with images, you can test it with text, and then it doesn't tell you what responses from who. You just
Got
vote
it.
on which one you liked better, and that's how it rank stacks AI.
Got it.
So this is actually a big company now. They just got a big all round of funding to continue rank stacking AI. It's funny that they're worth so much now, but that's another news item that's not relevant for most marketers here. But Google's image generator, definitely a step up. Now, that's not the only thing they got to step up in. Google, this is why I'm like, this whole episode is going to be about Gemini. They also released VO3, which was their killer video model, into the Plus accounts for Workspace users. But honestly, I just tested it. It is available on the free accounts. I just opened up a free Gmail account. I know you tested it earlier this week and it wasn't
I
there.
couldn't get it to work. So dumb.
I don't know, but I have like probably a dozen different Gmail accounts. A couple of them are paid. Some of them are free. They're different models. I don't pay for Google's Ultra, like $200 a month thing. But that's what you had to pay for before to get access to VO3. You had to pay $200 a month. I'm like, well, I don't need AI video that bad. Not yet. Someday maybe. But they just dropped it into, you can now generate these amazing videos, awesome sound. And I've already started using it with clients. It's amazing.
Wow.
You can take image art. It's funny, if you give it an image to start with, which is what everybody recommends, like generate the image is always the first frame, and then you can specify this happens next. You can't say like, hey, make the thing on the image jump into a view, like make this the last frame. No, it hates that. It's always the first frame.
Yeah.
So you might have to ask it to do it in reverse, but it is a killer tool. It's obviously what's been making all these like viral TikTok videos of like the cutting glass and people talking in videos is all from VO3, but now it's available for free. Anybody can generate these little 8-second clips of goodness. It's not the full VO3. It's like VO3 fast.
Yep.
But even the people who have access to both those models are saying VO3 fast is actually pretty dang good. So that's another one that I'm like, yeah, Google's crushing ChatGPT when it comes to video. Nobody talks about Sora. Nobody.
Right. If you've used, I'll say this, when I opened up VO3 and I dropped in a selfie of me and I just said, make me dance and zoom out so you can see my whole body. It loaded 8-second video. It put music to it. It widened the shot. So now it basically guessed what pants I was wearing, what shoes I was wearing. Luckily it put pants on me. Let's be honest. And then you got to see, it was a joke, Dan. You didn't laugh, but it's okay.
Sorry, I missed it.
It zoomed out and it was one of those moments when you've used AI before where you kind of have a shock moment like, oh, we're here. Oh my God. I mean, it's not perfect, but I can see the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
It will be perfect. It will be so much harder to tell that that's not me dancing. The way that it was able to fill in spaces, create the backdrop, and not just make a blank wall. It added texture, it added furniture, it added a door. I was shocked. It was one of those aha moments like, okay, wow.
I used it this week. I needed to create like a podcast intro little bumper for a client. And I'm not really good I can't do motion graphics, but I just took his cover art, which is like a picture of a resume half buried in the dirt, which was AI generated, but it looks good. I photoshopped their names onto it and it's called Buried Talent is the name of the podcast. And I'm like, cool, VO3. I just want this to look like it's being like they're burying the resume, like dirt's coming on top of it. And sure enough, poof, got the sound effects and everything. I ended up not using the sound effects, but I just layered music on top of it. But I'm like, it's a good little 8-second clip they're going to kick off every single episode with now. Before that kind of work, impossible for me. Right. I had to like hack just taking like a video texture that was just like static and then drop that on top of an image and kind of like overlay it in kind of a fancy way to kind of like hack video. I was doing those kinds of tricks, but I'm now with VO3, I'm like, dude, the world's my oyster. I mean, it's not like what the graphics package I just got from Kenji, which if you're watching the show, you probably have noticed we just added a full graphics package to this thing. it's not even close to his level of detail, but for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with that kind of stuff, it's a level up for sure. Lastly, Google has added this insane little automation tool. This came out weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, and it didn't get the attention it deserves, but it was actually pretty powerful. It's called Google Opal. It's a
Mm.
little automation platform. Think of like, Zapier, but it's like visual where you can like drag different elements, triggers, and then these things happen. They're like these little automation tools. The crazy part about it, and it's in beta, so it's not perfect, but you don't even have to build them. You can literally just prompt it to be like, hey, every time I prompt this thing with an image, I want you to do research on where it came from, write a report about it, and do all these other things with your Google models, and then put it into a Google Pages doc for me, and then shoot me an email. It's like all that kind of stuff. You're like, I want you to do these sequential things with all the Google tools because it's a Google product, so it only works with Google tools, but it connects to all the different things. And all you have
Wow.
to do is explain what you want, and then it builds it for you, and then you have a little
Wow.
tool. It doesn't always work. I've tried it a number of times. I'm like, all I wanted to do was put in a keyword and you write a blog post according to that keyword, thinking through it this way. And it failed. So I had to do it a couple of times. But I'm like, the fact that you're able to now build out automations, which are complicated and hard to hook up with just a prompt, I'm like, oh, this is the future. Pretty soon, everyone's going to be able to build these little automation tools and little agents with just a prompt. Be like, this is what I want to have happen. This is how I want it to happen in this order, this way, with these scenarios. Like if they pick this, then that. And then you just give people a form. They fill out the form. It kicks off the automation. Bam, it's done in your Google Workspace account. ChatGPT can't do that.
Not yet.
It's working on it. It's got integrations with some of these things, and it's got agents so it can go through and do
Right.
things, but it's still slow and not as the most reliable little tool, but it's
That
coming.
I think what you mentioned, just Google having the leg up on ChatGPT, having run a technology company with everything from Gmail to Docs
It's
to
got all the stuff
Sheets.
in it.
It has all of that running very smoothly, and it's very popular. How many people are still using Google Docs and Gmail and to
Me
connect
every
their
day, all the time.
their
We're working
LLM.
out of a Google Doc right now.
Right.
For
So
this episode.
the fact that they have that backing it's going to make them shoot up. OpenAI doesn't have that. They're going to have to create
No.
integrations and
Yeah, they got to come up with their own doc software. Like
oh yeah, no.
that's the rumor, is that they're working on this right now to be released this fall. They're gonna have their
Really?
own docs and spreadsheets and all that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
who's going to
Yeah,
want to use that though? Google's got
me.
such a leg on them. But
I
you think
know
it's going
they
to be
do.
better than
They do.
Docs and Sheets?
But honestly, that's why we're covering this video. Google's freaking made some gains over the summer. I'm not
Right.
in Google's camp. I am not rooting for them. But
Right.
I'm like, I still use Chrome. I still use Google Workspace because the cost of it and the efficiency of it. I'm like,
Right.
Microsoft, I was like rooting for, but they fumbling. That's not working, dude. Their stuff is super buggy, and their AI implementation is like ChatGPT with a lobotomy.
But Apple's doing good.
Come on, Apple, save us from Google.
Oh
No,
my
Apple's in
gosh.
talks with Google to build Gemini into Siri.
Bro, you got
Apple's talking to
OpenAI,
everybody right now.
you got OpenAI and Gemini and Grok all swimming trying to stay away from the waterfall, and then Apple's like downstream already through the waterfall, just freaking gone.
Oh, so Google major strides this summer, and
Come on, Apple,
ChatGPT
let's
5
go.
was kind of a disappointment for a lot of people. I thought it was great, but a lot of people, Google's making ground. So I don't know. It could be by the end of the year. It could be next year. We could all be like, ChatGPT, it was good.
Thanks for
We're just going to
leading the
use
way.
Gemini.
Yeah. Wow.
And they're going to manipulate and store all the data. But,
Alphabet stocks, here I come.
So, quick break for today's sponsor, which of course is HighLevel. I just saw HighLevel release their own agent builder. They're kind of teased it out. Essentially like NAN or make.com built right into HighLevel. So just like Google had Opal, which was like this automation tool with all their tools, HighLevel is doing the same thing. And I was like, oh, this is kind of the future right now. I'm sure HubSpot will do it. Everybody's going to do this eventually, but HighLevel's on it, where you can essentially just text prompt your way into building these little agents that have access to all the tools within the system that they're created. I'm like, this is going to be so awesome. The future is going to be amazing. And HighLevel is such a powerhouse of all kinds of tools from texting and email to landing pages of funnels and calendars and CRM and automation. And it's like this huge list, and payment systems, invoices, all the stuff that I can't wait to actually like have little agent tools to be able to automate all the little stuff in there. They haven't released it yet, but man, they put out a little YouTube video previewing it, and I'm excited for that because I think we'll have all these little agent systems within our core system. So SaaS won't go away, but the SaaS that we use, the services software packages, will all have these little tools and agents doing work in there continually in them. So I'm excited for that day. It's coming. Moving on to everyday AI. I'll go first because I don't know what your use cases were for this week.
Oh, I've got one.
But I do this more and more. If I'm buying something that's like more than $50, or it's like in that kind of couple $100 range, shoot, even if it's more, AI is always taking the first pass for me now. My son plays soccer, and I was at the soccer field, and the parents were starting to talk about like the little soccer cameras for recording sports games. They're very expensive. So I was like,
really?
ChatGPT 5 thinking, go and do a search for me, break down what are the top models, the expenses, the front end expense, the back end expense, and then give me all the offshoots of it where you can use your phone or GoPro or whatever. So it did a full analysis, gave me the top 3 models, and when I back checked it with some of our coaches who knew more about it, they're like, nope, that's accurate. Those are the things. And then we spotted one that was like, oh, only $500 one time, and then we get to use it like without a subscription. I'm like, dang. So it was a fantastic tool at researching and finding the thing, not only finding it and identifying it, but then going and checking Reddit reviews of the thing in order to verify some of the information. It's really good at that. So that was a use case for me for the week. What about you?
I was asked to go to a meeting, hour and a half. I'm not great myself at just audibly hearing information and then it sticking in my brain. I have to say it, talk about it, see it. So I went to this meeting, lots of information. I just set my iPhone recorder. I recorded the whole thing. They're talking. I'm engaging, being excited about things that I do hear and say. I took that recording, and what's nice about the iPhone is the recording app now just transcribes your recordings. You can just go straight to the recording, and it'll transcribe it automatically. I don't know if you knew that. Take that transcription, throw it into ChatGPT, summarize, pull out the important dates so that I can send this to my team. And man, I went back and read the summarization and went, I didn't hear that date. I didn't hear that date. And if I didn't record that, it's such a fast way to just simplify your life. Did I have to take notes? No. Well, you didn't remember. I don't have to remember. I just literally recorded it, through the transcription in, and now I have an executive style notes with important details, important dates. Here's what you need to do for your first step. I mean, it broke down the whole thing. So that's what I did it yesterday. It was fantastic. I thought, man, this was so useful.
That is a useful tool. I didn't think about, like, I don't hardly ever take meetings in person anymore, but I can imagine showing up with your laptop and just click record, because it just captures the audio, right? It doesn't capture video at all.
I used my phone. Yeah. Just,
on the phone.
I didn't need audio. I just turned my little recorder on, put it on the desk, and it captures everything.
Because, ChatGPT has a recorder on the MacBook app where it records straight into ChatGPT audio.
Yes, but if it's too long, sometimes those files get lost. And I've done it where I've recorded a voice message that's over 7 minutes multiple times, and all of a sudden it just boop disappears.
No,
and you're like,
not the dictation feature.
No, it's a
separate
different
feature. It's like a meeting recording feature. Yeah, look it up. It's on the Mac app. It's like one of those hidden things they launched, and it didn't get a lot of press, so nobody knows about it. But it's Mac, and it's a meeting recording. It has a little model that pops up, and you can see it recording the whole time. It's different than the little quick dictation thing. It's made for longer conversations, and it gives you the breakdown of the meeting instantly. Done with the transcript. So another thing I did with it was I was looking for conferences. I've started speaking at conferences. I've spoken at like 2 now for AI. Not the only speaking engagements I've ever done, but I've 2 for just AI. And I was like, I think I'd like to speak at a few more conferences. So I put in the conferences that I spoke at. I'm like, ChatGPT, I need more like this for these types of audiences that would fit what I'm talking about. You know my backstory and the things that I talk about because you have all the history. So go and find other conferences that would be a next best step. So break down a whole list. Oh, and I told it like a few conference types that I'm not looking for. So it then gave me more of what I wanted, which was just really cool. It's really cool when it knows a lot about what you talk about, because you could just reference that, be like, you know what I'm about, or reference our past conversations to know. It's like you don't have to insert all that. It knows. So it just gives you the right answer. It's like, well, based on what we've talked about, these would be good for you. Like, so it's nice.
Another practical way I've used ChatGPT is just a quick medical advice, like walking, my hips popping, one side is popping a little bit, and just going, hey, this is a situation. What are the potential, like, what are the potential reasons for this? And what's great is it's not WebMD, which is if you've Googled anything medical, you go to WebMD and it's like, you're about to die. So, which is the running joke about WebMD. You're like, well, if you have hip issues, you probably have 24 hours to live. I don't know why it always like puts death on there as like the number one reason. Anyways, it basically gave me a list. Hey, if these are your symptoms, here's what it is. If these are your symptoms, a little bit more serious. If these are your symptoms, you probably should go see a doctor quickly. I was able to quickly go, oh no, it's kind of the first one. It's not painful. It's just I probably have tight muscles and tight hamstrings or tendons. You just need to stretch and that popping will probably go away. And sure enough, I stretched a little bit, popping went away. I'm like, great. So just, I don't want to go see a doctor and spend how much money to get a little bit of advice. It's very helpful. But if you have cancer, you should probably go see a doctor,
Yeah, of course, keep seeing doctors. But just recently, ChatGPT gave me advice that the doctor could not figure out.
Really?
And ChatGPT was like, no, this is what's going on. Sure enough, ChatGPT was right. The doctor struggled to figure it out. I had restless leg syndrome, and I had a feeling it was coming from yerba mate. This is a tea I drink almost every day, every morning, a couple times because you re-soak it and do it again. And I'm like, I know it's from this. It's from dehydration. The doctor identified correctly. It's kind of from dehydration. And then he's like, my mom swears by pickle juice, which is funny because our mom will swear by pickle juice for restless leg syndrome. I'm like, so he's throwing out things that his mom said, which I'm like, dude, you're a doctor and you're literally quoting your mom and you have no idea why pickle juice. I'm like, okay, this isn't good. ChatGPT is like, no, it is dehydration, but it's not from what you think it is. What it's doing is the yerba mate, because of this chemical and this chemical, are leaching these two other things from your body, and that's what's causing the dehydration. So if you actually just supplement it with, I think it was like magnesium and something else, you should be good to go. It's in most electrolyte packages. Yep. Just look for these two things. Dude, sure enough, I haven't had a problem with it, and I can drink yerba mate more regularly. I had to mix it in with coffee here and there just to not get restless leg syndrome. It got so bad that like even if I was drinking a ton of water, I would have restless leg syndrome. And that's when I knew it was the yerba mate. I'd go off the yerba, would replace it with coffee, and it would go away. So I'm like, okay, there's something there, but I didn't know what it was. ChatGPT got it right. Doctor didn't. Would another doctor gotten it? I don't know. They don't cross-train doctors in nutrition most of the time. So
right. Dang, that's wild.
So moving on to our last segment, we have our viral video. This one's from Min Choi. He's kind of one I get a lot. A lot of his videos do quite well on X. But he's showing a whole thread of side-by-side examples of Google's. It's a combination of Google image generator, the Nano Banana, compared. He's doing it with this Higgsfield swap to video, which is powered by Nano Banana. But it's funny, this video has like a big like black guy just like hauling down the street, looking good, running, confident, he's huge. And they just drop in a picture of like the former Queen Elizabeth. And then now it has her running on the same street. And it looks exactly like her. Wow. I can't even tell the difference. I'll throw the video up on the video here, but it's like, dang. So what it is they can use the image generator so good at replicating that you can then feed that into a video model. I mean, you could probably do this straight with like just within Gemini now because of those two things. You could create the image, find a screenshot of a movie of somebody acting out something, swap it with a totally different person, and just describe it to Google's VO3. Like, hey, this is what's happening. Keep them running forward. And then it'll look like what they were doing in the movie. So I keep seeing examples, and if you look at the thread, there's a bunch of video examples of like them swapping out a famous actor's face for a different actor's face. So you have like a picture of, I don't know what this TV show was. I don't know, that TV show where he was selling meth as a high school teacher.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. And then they swapped it with like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk sitting there on the couch drinking beers in the meth lab coats. And I'm like, yep, that video is the most legit looking video. It literally looks like they hired those two and they're sitting on the couch doing the thing. The video's that good. So I don't know. You predicted last October that we could be getting close to making a movie with AI by the next fall, and I downplayed it. But I'm like, dude, it is
The jump
getting
from
freaking
4-second
close.
clips to 8-second clips
Big
is a
difference.
massive jump.
Yeah, because most movie cuts are what, under 3 seconds.
Oh, I don't know.
An 8-second clip in a movie is a
It's long.
very long clip,
Right.
and of course, every once in a while you'll get something long but it's because the camera is panning through lots of things, and it's like following a character around.
Yeah.
But those are super rare. Most of the time, they're under 3 seconds.
Wow.
And it's just about the consistency and
Right.
voice and all that kind of stuff, which is still working out, but they're getting much better at.
Right. Wow.
So I don't know. I think that now that the video capability is available for everybody, like the ability to do crazy ads as marketers has gone through the roof. This is the thing that we all need to be experimenting with, because we can all make essentially Super Bowl level creative for a $20 a month subscription.
Which is
Think about
wild.
that.
And we're just now getting past the cusp of it being very affordable and excellent creatively, excellent quality.
So Super Bowl, how many commercials are generated with AI next Super Bowl?
Oh,
That's the question.
dozens.
You think it'll be dozens? We'll see. We'll have to do some predictions leading up to it, maybe
Come on.
in a future episode.